A man wanted to do the impossible for the woman that he loved. He knew he was going to marry her and spend the rest of his life making her happy. He wanted to make the wedding ceremony the best day of her life, and in order to make that possible, he had to perform a miracle. Hello, wonderful people. I'm Jamie Buck from Wonderbot, and here is Wheelchair-bound husband performs miracle for wife on wedding day. Before we begin, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. The groom is disabled and sits in a wheelchair. However, in order to try and learn how to walk again, he went to physical therapy behind the fiance's back. The only good kind of hiding in a relationship. He would have to learn how to walk from scratch as a grown man, something he and everyone else was not sure he would be able to do. The biggest push for him was imagining his future bride stunned to silence as he stands up at the altar. He wanted to see his new wife's shocked reaction. Kevin Taylor is the star of this story. He would go through an immense amount of pain in order to try and recover the ability to move his legs again, and not only move them, but use them like he used to. We take for granted the fact that we are able to get up and move whenever we want. Kevin wanted to make his blushing bride tear up with pride in him. What Kevin ended up doing made everyone gasp. Kevin's inability to walk stems from an injury he sustained 13 years prior to his wedding day. He was in a terrible accident that had him rushed to the emergency room with doctors frantic to save him. Luckily, Kevin's life was not in immediate danger, but the state of his leg was a different story. Kevin's leg was broken in several spots, but to make things worse, he had also developed a serious nerve issue as a result of the accident. This was much more complex of an injury than a regular broken leg. Kevin had no idea even then what would happen. The broken leg created a nerve tissue in his leg that was not staying in his leg. The doctors caring for Kevin told him that they would need to take drastic measures in order to make sure that the nerve tissue was not going to spread to other more vital parts of his body. In order to do that, they would need to amputate his leg completely. A decision as big as that hit Kevin hard, but he knew he had no choice but to have his leg removed. Otherwise, this would go from bad to worse. His life would never be the same again. After Kevin had his leg amputated, he was officially wheelchair-bound. However, despite the great difficulty and change in his life, Kevin never complained about the situation he was now facing. He did not feel sorry for himself and tried to go about his life as normally as possible. His personality never changed, and those near to him said that he kept his spirits high and his personality even brighter. They said that if Kevin was sitting on the couch, you would never know that he was disabled, as he carried himself the same way he did when he could use both of his legs. It was during the time that Kevin met and fell in love with Kim Didway. The two saw nothing but each other and knew that they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. Kevin proposed to Kim, and they began to plan their wedding. Somewhere along the planning, Kevin got it into his head that he wanted to surprise Kim with the biggest shock of her life. He knew that the road would be hard and painful, but he wanted to prove to her and himself that he was capable of whatever he set his mind to, no matter how hard. For months during the wedding prep, Kevin was sneaking behind Kim's back. Unlike many reasons that one would sneak around, Kevin's reasoning was admirable and inspiring. For many hours over the course of many months, Kevin went to physical therapy. The physical therapy was in order to strengthen his upper body so that he could be fitted for a prosthetic leg and learn to then walk on it. This was a huge challenge for anyone to face, and an even harder one when you have such a time limit as your wedding day to make it happen. Kevin would need all the help he could get. Kevin knew that Kim loved him exactly as he was, wheelchair and all. However, he wanted more for himself and for her, and while he saw how happy she was planning their wedding, he knew that he wanted to do more for her. He wanted to change her life and his by being able to physically stand and walk again. Kim would never see it coming. But could Kevin really achieve his dream and make this miracle happen? It was a lot more work than he had ever anticipated, and there would be a few roadblocks ahead that he did not see coming. Learning how to walk on a prosthetic leg is not as simple as many people think, or as others make it look. It takes months of hard work, and if not done properly, can lead to even more injuries. Kevin needed to take things slowly if he wanted to make sure he was progressing safely. The last thing he needed was to have his progress turned the other direction by trying to do things too fast. The fact that Kevin even wanted to do this for Kim and himself makes the gesture that much more meaningful and downright emotional for him. While he was doing his physical therapy, Kevin was dreaming in his head how he was going to surprise Kim during the ceremony. He imagined the moment the preacher would ask everyone to stand as the bride walks down the aisle. He imagined that when that moment came, he would surprise everyone and stand up along with everyone else, having his best man take the wheelchair away and having Kevin remain upright and stable as if he were on his natural two legs. That miracle was within reach. He would just need to push a little bit further, but not too much. A wedding day is indeed supposed to be one of the happiest in a couple's life. In this case, Kevin was doing everything in his power to make sure Kim has the best wedding day and the best day ever. He knew that while everything else was going to be perfect because it was being planned to perfection, he wanted to add the cherry on top of the wedding cake, so to speak, and stun his new bride. Kevin's dedication to Kim is admirable and touching. His hard work is completely tied to how much he wants to make her happy. Finally, we see Kim. Kim said she fell in love with Kevin the moment she first laid eyes on him. She said that it was his beautiful smile and loud laugh that caught her attention. She did not see the wheelchair then, and does not see the wheelchair now. It never bothered her that Kevin had some disabilities, but rather that he was able to see past them for himself so she could see past them for them both as well. It is all about the attitude of a person, you see. Kim saw the strength that Kevin had. As for the wedding preparations, Kim and Kevin rented out the Caprock Winery for their wedding day. They sent out their invitations to their nearest and dearest. The wedding day was getting closer and closer, and Kevin was getting more and more nervous about being able to make this miracle happen for him and his new wife. The physical therapy was going well, but slowly, and all Kevin wanted was to blow everyone away, especially Kim, with his hard work and capability. He wanted to stand and walk for his love. A more romantic gesture has yet to be made. There was only one other person who knew about Kevin's plan, and that was his best man. He needed someone close to him to help him out in sneaking away for the physical therapy sessions themselves, as well as help him plan the way it was going to go down on the day itself. He knew he was going to be super nervous and would need the best man for both moral support but also for the actual help, as he is the one who is supposed to take the wheelchair away from him when he stands up as a shocking surprise. The big moment is finally here. The wedding day is here, and everyone that Kim and Kevin care about is at the ceremony location. Everyone is sitting down and lined up. Then the preacher comes in and asks everyone to stand up to welcome the bride who is about to walk down the aisle towards her beloved. This was it. This was the moment Kevin was waiting for after so many months of hard work and determination. The preacher makes his remarks, and Kim is at the top of the aisle about to walk down towards Kevin to exchange vows forever. As Kim is slowly being walked down the aisle towards Kevin by her father, Kevin suddenly stands up. In that moment, everyone is stunned, and Kim immediately begins to cry as she cannot believe what she is seeing with her own eyes. The photo right here shows Kevin's happy face as he finally got to see Kim's shocked and joyous face. His hard work had paid off in spades for this moment to go off without a hitch. He is proud of himself, but more than all of it, he is so happy to see his blushing bride as happy as she is. Kim could not contain her tears at that moment. As you can see here, Kim is just crying and crying tears of utter joy. In that moment, when Kevin stood up and Kim understood what she was seeing, everyone in the crowd of loved ones started to cheer and clap. It is far from a small win for Kevin to have managed to get himself up and standing thanks to his new prosthetic leg. He worked so hard, and there were times he was not sure if he would be able to do it, but in the end, he won, thanks to his own determination and love for Kim. Kim never could have imagined that she was going to get such a wonderful surprise from her new husband on their wedding day. Needless to say, this was the best gift Kevin had ever given either of them, as she knew it was as much as a gift to himself as it was for her. Their lives together now would never be the same, and Kevin knows that she will be there by his side no matter what happens. She never wavered when he was in a wheelchair, so he knows there is no chance that she would ever waver should anything else happen. This photo captures Kim's emotional reaction to just how hard her new husband had to work to make what happened happen. Months and months of painful physical therapy, fittings for the prosthetic, and having to keep it all quiet so as to maintain the surprise was just overwhelming for Kim. Kevin never complained, never showed any sign of weakness or soreness. He was just the positive trooper he always is. Kim looked beautiful in her bridal gown, her tiara, and wearing her heart on her sleeve. This couple is destined for great things together as a strong and stable couple. Now that Kevin has revealed to everyone, but especially to Kim, that he is able to stand and walk, he said that he is never going back to the wheelchair. The prosthetic leg he was fitted with is for life and is the perfect fit for him. He will continue to do physical therapy to get even stronger and more stable on his feet. But for him, the most important thing is that he would never sit in that wheelchair again or need to call for help for every little movement that he may need. This is a whole new life for Kevin. For anyone who suffered an injury that landed them in a wheelchair for the rest of their lives, Kevin is a beautiful example of how hard work and a lot of determination can change everything. Of course, there are injuries that cannot be remedied. However, for those that there is a way out of, there is nothing that the human spirit can put down unless one wants it to. Being determined and putting yourself first are the initial steps to make even the slightest of differences in your situation. And Kevin saw that firsthand and is the perfect example of the rewards one could reap.